front. That seat lays down. It costs $19.95 to do that job. We're real proud of it.
This is a 71 Checker Metacar. It's they only made 100 of them, so it's kind of a rare car. Hopefully I can sell it this weekend.
The numbers on this are the same numbers that are on one of those cars back there. I photographed that car in order to make the model the last time I was here. So this has an interior complete, including jump seats, one folded and one unfolded. And this is the very first out of 100 or so models that I've made. This is the very first one to have an interior. All the rest of them have painted windows like Terry Vaught's here from Indiana.
Yeah, this is 77 Marathon, and I bought the real car out Luther Thomas's. It's like this. And Dick's made me some taxi cabs of older Checkers, but this is the first one he's made me of a Marathon. He does great work. He's a real artist.
Well, I got involved back when I was in my 20s. We bought our first Checker in Kalamazoo in the late 60s and have had Checkers ever since, on and off. I've had 6 of them and enjoyed every one of them. The best one was a 72. It had a V8 engine in it that responded better than any car I've ever had. And we've been involved here with the Checker Car Club of America since the first meet here at the Gilmore Car Museum, and thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great club of people from all over the world.
Well, we're Ed and Jean Matscannon from Yuma, Arizona. We've had the Checker. We bought it new in '73, and we got about 216,000 miles on it now. It's a particular interest to us because we tow a little 18-foot Airstream, although it's a light trailer. It's one of the older ones that has hydraulic brakes, and no problem tying into the brake system on this to activate the brakes on the trailer. So we've had the Checker cross-country from coast to coast several times by now, and real happy with it. Coming from Arizona, we upgraded the radiator with a cross-flow, which gives about 30% more frontal area and lets us pull the trailer and run our air conditioning even in Arizona. Works real good. We're real happy with the car.
This is a 1970 Checker, and I just got it about a year ago. It's a one-owner. Came out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Pretty much rust-free. A gentleman took it to Florida every year, pulled a huge trailer with it, had a trailer hitch that was pretty much hooked from the front to the back. 6-cylinder Chevrolet engine, automatic transmission, got original seats in it. Door and fender's been repainted. The rest of it's all original, and it drives great at 55, 20 miles a gallon, coming up from Indianapolis yesterday. So it's been a great car. It's a lot of fun, and it's a beautiful day, and we're going to enjoy it.
Oh, I just come to see the other Checkers. That's all I came for. Just so I could look and see how I'm going to fix mine. I want to make mine better than the ones that's here.
Beach got a set. What year's yours?
Mine's a '69 station wagon.
Got all stripped. All the parts are off of it.
Everything
nice,
down to the body.
Gonna put it together. When are you gonna have it up here? 2 years?
It'll be here in 2 years, right? 2 years.
Yeah. What color are you gonna paint it to?
I don't know yet. Maybe that color we was talking about. No, yellow or that pearl color. One of the two. Yeah.
So, is that a factory color? How do you make that?
No, I'm afraid it's not factory color.
Oh. Is anything factory on these Checkers?
It's what?
Anything factory on these Checkers?
I think anything that's on them is factory. That's what they want to put on them. That's what they were.
That's what makes them Checkers.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah, I got 13 of them. I'm addicted. My wife sent me here to get me out of the house. Says that's the only way we can deal with him, get him out of here. And she,
Be there when you get back. That's the question.
yeah, well, she only thinks I have 4 of them. Because see, the old ones, they painted them the same color, so I never have them all at the same time at the same place. And she better not see this tape, or I'm in big trouble.
You know,
What years do you have now?
They're 60s and 61s, and I've got 182, one of the last ones made. Well, yeah, I figured once I found the parts for one, I got the parts for all of them. It's much easier to deal with than all these different years and different cars. But I had to come to one of these because I just had to. I've never been to one. First one. Yeah, we got a California club, but there's not this many cars in the California club at all. So we have fun.
hold that. This is Bob.
That's right.
Bob's here from Indianapolis, and this is his checker over here. Good looking
Why is
wagon.
he laughing?
Bob actually has how many checkers, Bob?
I don't know, Brandy.
7 checkers.
7.
And enough parts probably for 9.
That's right.
He needs the parts.
That's
'cause
right.
He's got so many.
Right. That's my traveling mechanic over there, Pete
He brings
Scott.
his own mechanic with him,
That's
Pete
right.
Scott, when he travels.
That's right.
Tell us
This is
about
my
this car,
advisor.
Bob. What years is
That's
this
a
car?
1966 car.
Is this all original paint?
All
Engine,
painted,
wheels,
but it's
frame?
original. Nothing's been re-chromed on it. It has been repainted, and we put a new engine in. The 1966 runs fine. It outran your straight 6 all the way from Indiana.
And how was that gas mileage, Bob?
I got about 2 miles a gallon.
Good.
That's enough, isn't it?
Hey, why do you own this checker?
Yeah, tell us why you own this checker. How'd you get into checkers? Why,
how'd I get-
why do you have checkers?
What was your first question?
What the heck are you here for?
What am I here? I don't know. We just sort of like checkers. I have other cars too, other than checkers, Packards and that sort of thing. But I like checkers because they're non-pretensive, whatever that means. I have no idea what the word means. Non-pretensive.
Good morning. What a beautiful day here. John and June is the name. We have a 1969 checker. We're from New Jersey, and we left like Sunday, and toured the country all the way out to here. Got here Friday afternoon.
Actually, have a lot of people honking at you.
We had people honking at us. They waved to us, and everybody enjoys the checker.
The young men
And the
say,
young-
Mister, I like your car. You hear that all the time.
What's the best thing about your checker?
I use it all the time.
Space.
It's basic use. I travel all over with it. I've been into Canada, Quebec, Williamsburg, Prince Edward Island, and wherever we go on a trip, checker goes with us. Checker has a name of Margaret because I bought it off of Margaret many years ago, and she bought it brand new down in a town called Toms River, New Jersey. What else do we have for her? We take the back seat out. We do traveling with it. We pick up antiques for our shop in Allenwood.
My name is Bruce Urich. I'm from Pennsylvania outside of Philadelphia, and this is one of 2 checkers I own. It's a 67 Marathon. I also own a 1974 Aerobus, but that's hard to get around with that car.
Best thing about it?
The attention it brings. People keep looking at it and say, what is it? You know, they still don't know what it is. And when I first got married 20 years ago, I had another 67, and that one didn't work out too well rust-wise, so I got an opportunity a couple of years ago to buy this one as a replacement. So it's been working out real nice.
All right, we drove this checker from South Alabama up here, left home Tuesday. So about 900 miles, and so far it's doing very good. Air conditioner's still working. We got this car about 8 years ago. A gentleman had bought it. He was a car enthusiast, sold Nash cars at a dealership, and when they quit making Nash, he got him a checker, and this was his personal car, and we got it from his estate after he passed away, and have restored it with the cosmetic effects. It was in very good condition, new paint and some new upholstery, and otherwise the car is original and a very good car, and I think one of the most dependable cars there is, and a good riding car, and carries a load. It should have made more of them.
Well, I wanted a checker for a long time because I had heard that they would go for 500,000 miles. I have 350,000 on this, which really isn't very much for a car that's 29 years old. I bought it new in 1967. I'm from California, and every year we go from California to Florida and back. We've done it 23 times now. I retired 24 years ago.
This is a checker limo, a back-to-back back seat. It's a maroon, and I'm out of New York City.
What's the best thing about this car?
The ride. It rides nice and comfortable like a Cadillac. That's what I like about it.
Okay, this is a 1981. It originally belonged to Art Radke, who was the quality control manager for Checker until he retired in 1990. He had the car redone by the factory before he retired, and I bought it from him a year later. My name is Rick Larrick, and I'm here with my wife, Jill.
I got into this about 6 years ago, and I always liked Checkers, but I always liked the cabs. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a clean 1970 New York City cab. And the result.
I guess you always think of the city cabs as being the yellow and white.
No. Quite to the contrary. Only since 1970 have they been yellow. Before that, they were every color there was. It's only recently, and that's what you see in movies and television. And it was always the predominant color, but it wasn't the only color. This is a pretty typical color. And this is like the color you can see in Chicago, very similar color to Chicago. It was a little darker green with more of a cream top, but this would have been like a fleet type of cab in New York in the late 60s or something like that. It would be fairly common.
So where'd you find a car like this?
This car was owned by a vending company in New York City, and it was used every day to deliver filled vending machines. It was a commercial car.
Okay.
And then I just converted it to a cab. But it's had a hard life.
How long have I been involved? Let's see, I got one in 1961. I've still got that one, it's at home. Pretty rough shape. Rougher shape than this one, which I picked up in 1982. Poor old rascal's only been in the garage one night since I've had it. But it keeps running. That's my daily runner. And it does pretty good.
Yeah.
We used about a quart of oil coming out here from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That was in close to 900 miles we put on it. So I don't think that's too bad for going around a couple times and never having the engine apart. First time around, I picked the first one up because of the roominess. It was easier for my mother-in-law and my mother to get in and out of the car. They didn't have to bang their heads or anything else. They could just step right in. Now it's my turn for the same thing. But I don't know. They're one of the best cars I ever had.
first checker we got was back in, I think it was 73, 74. We were driving around about 30 miles north of where we live, and we were looking for mashes to get parts for. I had an old mash. We ran across one sitting in a filling station. I told my wife, I said, looks like a checker. I said, go around the block. We went around the block, and the filling station man told us who had it and where he lived, so we drove over to the guy's house, made a deal to buy it, and got a temporary plate and drove it home. It was the next day, of course. And we fixed it up. The factory was still going down. We got new rocker panels for it. I put those in. The wife did the body work, and we painted the bottom part kind of a rust tan, and the top was already a cream color. Made a nice combination. It had the jump seats in the back. I'd sit in the back, the wife would drive me around. She was the chauffeur. But that's when the energy crunch came along. We decided, well, we needed a smaller car, so we traded it in like a bunch of dummies. You know, hindsight better than foresight. I wish we'd had it back a dozen times. But, it was a good car. It used a little oil, needed an overhaul. But it's not unusual for a checker to go around the clock 2 times.
Or more.
Yeah, or more. But they're a great automobile. See, I've got 6 of them. The funny thing is, the wife said when you retire, you're supposed to play checkers, not collect checkers. That works good.
Well, Andy challenged me to a drag race outside the checker factory, and I just redid the top end of the motor this winter, and we ran them up to about 50, and I was ahead all the way, so must have done something right. Well, this was my grandfather's car, and it's got no power steering or power brakes, and he just couldn't handle the car anymore, so he had to get rid of it. And I noticed the performance was going downhill, so I put a new set of cylinder heads on it, put a new cam in, put a 4-barrel carburetor on it, and it really steps out now.
It's all Chevy parts in there?
Well, the heads are aluminum ones from a company called Trick Flow. They're only about $300 more than redoing a set of cast irons, so I use those.
So what, other than the fact that you probably got some sentimental value into it with the grandfather's car and everything, why were you interested in the car?
Well, because I'm a big guy, it's a big car, I fit real nice in it, and it's very unique. Nobody else has one, except here.
Well, that's true. So where are you from?
Downers Grove, Illinois, outside Chicago.
I haven't found another one since like this, but it's definitely a checker.
Took an old speedometer and took a Walmart tachometer and put inside it, put the side gauges in it, got little tweeters up here where the air conditioner holes are, 6x9s in the back, and big old bass woofer in the trunk. And right in the far corner I got the little plate that says limited edition.
It was either this one, a few other ones, and I was interested. I had my eye on this one. For a year and a half I kept asking, well, Benny, you ready to sell it? You ready to sell it? You ready to sell it? No, and one day Benny says, yeah, okay, go ahead and take it. So fixed the motor, the air conditioner, transmission.
Need a lot of work, huh?
Body-wise, no.
Yeah.
But only because it came from Virginia.
Right.
But other than that, mechanical. I mean, I'm sure she's got 400,000 miles on it. You know, every bit of it. But quite an automobile. Runs really quite well for the wear and tear that she has. She works quite well.
I've been making them for 10 years now, and to my knowledge, I'm the only one in the world that making 1/24 scale checker models. And I started it because I couldn't find any. And I wrote to all the model making companies, and the ones that bothered to answer at all said, we have no plans for a checker. And I started making them almost exactly 10 years ago.
How many times do we take the things that are really special to us for granted? Have you ever had your power go out? So you go downstairs to check the fuse box, and the first thing you do is go to flip the light switch? Doesn't work. Take it for granted. I think the checker's one of those things too, like you all know, Before we knew it, it was gone. And a lot went with it. But here we are. And I'm glad that someone like Don McHenry had the heart to keep going and start the newsletter and pull people together all over the United States and even out of the United States. You're a special guy, Don, and we really thank you.
Thank you.
About 3 years ago, another man took over the newsletter, and he's really special to me. I think it's been fun to meet all of you and to hear his stories. I want you to know that he has just had more fun and loved this whole thing. When you look at someone who's a relative, you love them because they're your relative, right? But I have to say, in this case, I'm proud that he's my dad because he's got more integrity than 10 people. And I think maybe you've seen that too. So let's welcome a real special guy, my dad, Steve Wilson.
Thank you. I just can't say anymore. Glad everyone's here. Let's have a little interchange of information, parts, and so on. We've elected a few board members last night. A few key people that really get into where parts are, where they're coming from. Some are a little trouble. But I'd kind of like to turn it over and maybe ask our premier guy that's got all the checkers in the world back there, Ben Merkel from Ohio.
I've owned these cars, I think. I'm going to say that the parts situation right now is great. We've had a lot of brand new fenders show up. Some showed up right here. And so we really don't have any parts problems to my knowledge, except for some of the really obscure parts. Strange, wagon parts. Some of the older stuff is getting a little tricky. Some of the mid-60s. But in general, most fenders are still available, although due to scarcity, I think we're going to see higher sheet metal prices because I don't think anyone's going to remake the fenders. Another realization is that probably 70% of the checkers left are perhaps a little rusty. So if you're going to fix it, now is the time. If you're going to wait 5 years, I hope Dick Clark and Ed McMahon stop at your house. Enjoy it. It's not going to last forever, but we're fortunate and we have a larger network of parts than we had 2 years ago. So each year we seem to have more and more people who are trying to keep them going. I can't do it. Eric can't do it. We have to spread this out. It's a very labor-intensive thing. I also urge people not to drive them into salt. It's an expensive habit.
We have one party in this group that is interested in buying a checker. Now, one of these good ones should be available.